And for one reason or another, the Axe Gang is now targeting that place. And what they give us is like one ultimate climax after another. Wait, that sounds weird. they
What's going on, everyone? 2025 is the 20th anniversary of JLCM's Crappy Movies, and we are taking a look at the movies of JLCM's Crappy Movies. So, Joe, what movie are we talking about today?
This week we are talking about Kung Fu Hustle from Stephen Chow. This actually came out in China in 2004, but it didn't hit America until 2005. It wasn't wide release in America until then. So that's why I reviewed it back then, and that's why we're talking about it today.
Yeah, and a movie that I have actually seen.
A movie that you've actually seen before. I can't believe it. Um, and loved too, right? You saw this and loved it. Did you see it in theaters or did you
I
see
did
it
not
once?
see it in theater.
Okay. Did you blind buy it? Were you all like, the buzz is too strong. I need to
I
own
may have
this.
blind bought it, actually.
It's one of the safest blind buys ever, I think. It's just too much. Like there's too, even in the trailer you can tell like, oh, I know exactly what this is. I know what I'm gonna get. So it's a
Yeah.
safe blind buy. Yeah. So it stars and is written and directed by Stephen Chow, who was already an established action star in Hong Kong. But this is really something that took off over here. Like people were ready for it and they loved it. We were talking a few weeks ago about um, Tony Jaa and his Ong Bak movie and how they were almost trying to find another Jackie Chan to sort of bring to America. I think Stephen Chow could have had a chance at that, especially with this movie, the way it hit so hard. Like people like Ong Bak and it has a lot of respect and everything, but Kung Fu Hustle like reached beyond uh, the martial arts community. It really did kind of what Rumble in the Bronx did. It was almost like a gimmick movie the way that was, where like they're like, you got to come see this guy. He does his own stunts. They were saying about this movie, you got to come see this movie. It's insane. I mean, I remember reading back then. Ebert said about it that it was like a Looney Tunes cartoon come to life, and it
Yeah.
really is. And for me, like rewatching it today, it's the perfect marriage of like just wild ideas and legit kung fu. Like the fighting in this movie is so clean, so hard. Like they're really going at it, and it's so beautiful. And like, yes, it's some of it's CGI, and yes, there's wire work, but like wire work is so traditional to uh, you know martial arts films that's not a big deal. Um, but it's so larger than life and so fun. And it does have problems, like some of that CGI is a little spotty.
Yeah.
This was definitely in the era where like contrast was off, and it would look like you'd see things there. It didn't look like it belonged there, or like you could tell it was just beyond the uncanny valley. Like they had figured a lot of stuff out, but they weren't quite there yet. And this falls in that realm. And I think a lot of people will complain about. I mean, I haven't even mentioned the story, but like let's see. Internet Movie Database says in Shanghai, China, in the 1940s, a wannabe gangster aspires to join the notorious Axe Gang, while residents of a housing complex exhibit extraordinary powers in defending their turf. And what happens from there is we get Stephen Chow, who's kind of this like uh, unhoused con man. Like he's basically he's the poorest of the poor and just kind of like looking to cheat people, but not even like long cons. He's like right now cons. Like I gotta get a haircut cons. he's,
Isn't
not,
he
he's not,
living in like a light fixture at some point?
that
I
was his
don't remember. I
house.
haven't seen it in a while, but
Yeah, it was like a traffic light. Yeah, things aren't going good for him, and he's trying to con his way into all these different kinds of things. He wants to be part of this Axe gang, um, but they're going to use him for other things. Um, but he finds himself at this place called Pigsty Alley, which is basically like a low income housing. And there's a community there though, and then wacky characters. And he's trying to con them, and it doesn't work. And for one reason or another, the Axe Gang is now targeting that place. And what they give us is like one ultimate climax after another. Wait, that sounds weird. they they give us one like major action sequence after another. And the beautiful thing about them is each one features the best fighter you've ever seen. And then they're beat up by the next best fighter you've ever seen. And then they're beat up by the next best fighter. I mean, that's a spoiler technically, but I mean, spoiler time maybe? No,
All time.
spoiler time. But it's this escalating, like you'll never see it get better than this. And then someone comes in and does it better. And is there another movie that does that? Is there one that you can think of?
I mean, I feel like it feels like a common trope in like martial arts movies. I can't think of
Okay.
anyone specifically. Like,
Okay.
I feel like older like martial arts movies probably in like the 70s ish
I
area.
wish it was something that really caught on more because it feels like a tournament movie. Because you're going through the ranks almost literally, but I mean, no one has really adapted it. And like, I mean, I could see Kill Bill being done that way, even though it's not. Um, I mean, Tarantino doesn't need any, you know, 20-year later notes on Kill Bill, but I would love to see this kind of format in storytelling in movies. But anyway, it does that. The whole like step by step going up the ladder um, until we see Stephen Chow's character's hero's journey come to an end. He gets beat up so bad that it quote clears the chi and allows him to become Neo from the Matrix. like they call him the One and everything. They don't call him Neo. It's 1940, but I thought that was so like if that happened today, people would be mad. They'd be like, "Excuse me, he knocked the chi into him." People, such a weird like I don't know what would you even call that? Like
I don't even know.
I don't even know. So I think people would complain a lot about this movie now, but it was so fresh and so cool at the time that they're willing to forgive, kind of like oh he's the hero too. He's the jerk and the hero, and he's like perfect and awesome. Um, I see. Yeah. I mean, it's totally like Luke Skywalker or Harry Potter. I mean, it's a hero's journey, but yeah, I don't think I don't think people would go for it. Um, even though I'm totally cool with it because the movie's so fun.
Do you think it's something that works in Kung Fu Hustle because it is so cartoonish?
Right. I mean, that could definitely have something to do with it. It is cartoonish, and like the more I was revisiting it this time, the more I thought like, oh, it's almost even like a fairy tale or like imagination. I mean, it's definitely cartoon influenced uh and everything. Yeah, it's like it's definitely not happening in our world. It's just a version. So that could have something to do with it.
Well, I guess how does it replay? Is it as good as you remember it being watching it the second
Yeah,
time or
I think so.
now?
There's well, it's weird because the stuff I don't remember is like the love story or like like the character build up, which I mean, I was just complaining about a minute ago, but like they showed there's a whole story from his past where he got bullied and he made a connection with this mute girl and then he runs into her later in life and so I forgot all of that, but it's really the kind of like the heart and soul of that character. So if I remembered that, that would be cool. But the stuff I did remember, which was all the crazy badass fighting, that held up big time. I mean, so fun, so fun. I gotta say about those bullies, he has this flashback where he thinks he knows kung fu, and he sees a girl getting like bullied by this pack of like 4 or 5 guys, and he's like, "Hey, leave her alone." And he does like a kung fu stance, and they're like, "What are you gonna do?" And they go up to him and they beat the hell out of him, and then they take his little kung fu book and they throw it on top of him. Do you remember this?
I think I remember where this is going.
Okay, I definitely forgot this, but they pee on him and the book, or
Yeah.
like not all of them. Oh my god, can you imagine? Anyway, so one guy pees on him and the book, and I was like, I'm watching this just yesterday, and I was like, I was bullied in high school, but no one pissed on me. So big shout out to the youth of Collingswood, New Jersey. Thank you for, I mean, scarring me emotionally for years, but never peeing on me. I mean, I couldn't believe it was happening. Maybe, I mean, maybe I was lucky. Peeing bullies is more common than I think.
I mean, I
Lots of
hope
love.
not.
I hope, but sending love and good vibes to those that have been pissed on.
Involuntarily.
Yes. Yeah. So Stephen Chow's character learns kung fu because when he was a kid, some unhoused guy comes up to him and says, "You have the bone structure of a master," which is next level creepy, but whatever. Um, and he's like, I can sell you this book that I have that'll teach you how to do kung fu, but it's the last one I have, so I have to charge you." And you know, this is this little kid because he thinks he needs to know to save the world. This guy convinces him that he needs to know kung fu to save the world. So he gives him all his life savings for this book, and that's what sort of happens before he runs into these bullies later on. But at the end of the movie, we see the characters now happy and everything, and then we sort of pan across the town, and one of the things we see is another little kid. Like they go out of their way to make sure this kid is a real ding dong. Like he's just like blank face, literal boogers, just nestled, just lightly. This kid's just like, "Bleh." But he's being approached by this same unhoused guy, and the guy has not aged at all. He looks exactly the same, and he's got books, and he's raised his price from $5 to $10. Good for him.
Yeah.
But he's
Inflation.
Yeah, inflation. So he's given this kid the same pitch basically. And when I watched this, I thought, oh my God, how old would that kid be now? Can we get a Kung Fu Hustle 2 with the
Oh.
Booger Master? Like, how crazy would that be, right? Like connect them like that. But I was watching a video about Kung Fu Hustle, and they had said like, oh, they came up with this theory that like the whole movie took place in Boogerhead's head. So, because if you look around, you see all the characters from the movie just
Mm.
not
Like
maybe
a
like
Wizard
you
of
see the
Oz kind of situation?
yeah, really kind of Wizard of Oz vibes. Um, yeah, just like, oh, I had a dream and you were there and you were there. Yeah, that's totally like that. So, like, did Booger Brains make this up,
Huh.
or my theory that there should be a Kung Fu Hustle too? Which one's better? No, but I thought that was really cool. That like maybe none of Kung Fu Hustle happened. Maybe it was all in this kid's head, or maybe this guy is like a fairy godmother that gives masters books. They're like, I know this kid's going to save the world in 20 years, so let me give him a book. I would love that if I ever met Stephen Chow. I will never meet Stephen Chow, but I would ask him about that. I'd be like, what did you want? How did you want us to feel about that? And I'm sure he wouldn't tell me, but that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, that is really cool. I really like the idea of a Kung Fu Hustle 2 starring the
Booger
Booger
boy,
Man.
yeah. But I'm no booger boy. I'm a booger man.
Part of me feels like it is, and this is a different movie, different genre altogether. But The Descent.
Oh,
Um,
oh, right.
so like there's for those of you who don't know The Descent, there's the ending that you saw in the U.S. version, but I think overseas there's a different version. So the two movies end very differently from one another.
Spoiler
Uh,
time for Descent.
I mean, let's not spoil it for in case people
Okay.
want to watch Descent. But anyway, they made Descent 2, I think, in the US, and it follows the American ending, which is not what the rest of the world saw. So
So all these people in the rest of the world going to the movies are like, "Hey, here we go. What do we get? Wait a minute. Something's not right." Yeah,
but that's what made me think of when you mentioned Kung Fu Hustle 2, Booger Man.
Boogerman, Revenge of Boogerman, Boogity. Oh, this is. We could go all night with this.
Yeah.
So that's Kung Fu Hustle. If we want to talk a little bit about the fighting, hand to hand stuff is crazy. There's this guy who wears rings on his arm. He fights like a minstrel, and it's crazy. Just the moving and the just it's beautiful kung fu. but I also love the big, huge imagination of it. Like Stephen Chow's character at one point gets hit so hard in the chest that the back of his jacket rips. Like it's that kind of stuff. Or like one guy's arm gets twisted and you see like his shirt just go to
Yeah.
shreds. That is so cool. My favorite, and something I've remembered ever since, is as like one of the best visuals of that era for me. Is something that really impacted me. He gets knocked up into the air and he sees Buddha in the clouds, and I love like a giant like deity that just emerges and like takes over the whole screen. And here it's just so beautifully done, and it sort of gives him strength to do like this final move on the big bad. Um, it's called the Palm of Buddha, and it's so beautiful. I love it. I love all action in this movie. So
Yeah. I think it's great. I liked all the various styles that they use because if I remember correctly, it's the guy with the rings is he the tailor? No,
I think
right?
he is. Yeah,
He's the tailor. Then there's the guy with the staff who is he the baker?
he might be. No, but there's one guy named Donut. I think he must have been the baker, but I'm not sure if he was the guy with the staffs or the third
Yeah.
guy. But
I don't
those
remember
three,
what the third guy has.
yeah, I don't remember either, even though I just watched it. But it's true. Like there's different kinds of fighting represented. There's different kinds of uh, techniques represented. But I mean, it's even like the big bad at the end does like frog technique, like or like he like he puffs up his jowl, yeah, and like jumps and like he bounces around like a ping pong ball or like a pinball machine that actually makes those noises. But it's so fun, so inventive, and so cool. And just to, I mean, if you people watching this have not seen Kung Fu Hustle, you kind of got to. It's mandatory.
So you do not own this, is that correct?
I do not own this, and I talked about this with Ong Bak as well, where like I really loved it, and I want to watch it again, but it's not something that I could put on casually. So like when I would see it in stores for like $10, I'd be like, nah, I won't have time to watch it really. But this is always one where like if the right 4K price came along, or it would have to be like a prestige like steel box or something, I'd be like, oh, that's the one. So I'm not like I would never buy it used or like uh at Blockbuster or like back in the day or um at a yard sale or anything. I would want to get like a really nice version of it if I was going to get one. So yeah.
Yeah.
So if I saw like a 4K steelbook or whatever in the store for like, I mean, 15 or $20, it would be worth it.
So I actually do own this one. And if you watched our FYE reveal video, where we go through the FYE stuff that I bought, I mentioned in Premium Rush that they were speaking Cantonese, and my sister and I had to sit up to actually look at the subtitles. And surprisingly, Kung Fu Hustle, they're also speaking Cantonese in that movie. Um, I understood most of it. So
Oh, that's great. Is
there's probably only a few where I was like, what did he say?
is that a case of it being authentic Cantonese, or Kung Fu Hustles is authentic? Whereas I could see Premium Rush being the kind of like, oh, this is an American movie, and we're just kind of winging it, and it doesn't matter because stupid Americans won't notice that sort of thing. Like,
Well, I mean, I guess it's probably the difference between like Kung Fu Hustle is more like, I guess, common conversational
okay,
Cantonese, so that's something that like I would have picked up like growing up. Um, so like whereas I think the Cantonese in Premium Rush is a little bit more like, I guess, directed is probably the best word. Like it's very like for a specific purpose, whereas Kung Fu Hustle is just them speaking, and it's interesting because I think there are definitely some instances where the subtitles come on, and I was like, that's kind of what he said, but that's not exactly what he says. So I know enough where like I can do that.
it's weird how subtitles do that sometimes. Even closed captioning. Like, I'll be listening to an English show and have the subtitles on just because my children and dog are loud. Do you guys know my dog is the loudest thing in the world? If you've watched any of this channel, then you know that. So sometimes I'll just put the closed captioning on, and I'm like, I'm hearing them say it and reading it at the same time. I'm like, those aren't the same things. We got a real lazy closed caption person. It's like, yeah, whatever. Or look, I know where this is going. I'll just put it in.
All right. So, if people are looking for something similar to Kung Fu Hustle, what would you recommend?
I wish I could think of something that was not another kung fu movie, even though there's tons of great kung fu movies that people should be watching. But like I wish there was a movie I could think of that does the same sort of thing, like does like the tournament style storytelling, or does like the Looney Tunes style action or inventiveness so effectively. But nothing really came to mind for me. Do you? Is there anything that you can think of that might?
So I don't know of any movies kind of in those categories. I would say if you haven't checked out Shaolin Soccer, that's also a good Stephen Chow movie. It's about monks playing soccer. I mean, obviously it's a similar vibe because it's the same writer director. So it's kind of like not as cartoonish, I would say. It is still cartoony, but not like Bugs Bunny cartoony that you get in Kung Fu Hustle.
But it's still like the soccer playing is almost like action scenes. The way they
Yeah.
jump in the air and kick the ball, and like it's on. I think on the poster the ball's on fire. I don't know. Like that's how hard they kick it, sort of thing. Uh, that is a fun movie though.
I mean,
It's
I
a good
guess
choice.
another movie that uh, may be good is Scott Pilgrim.
Oh my God, that is a great call. The way it merges kind of like the a real story with video game, the video game language,
Yeah.
where like if Kung Fu Hustle's using cartoons, that's using video games. Oh my God, you're so right. If Kung Fu Hustle's set in the 40s, and it definitely feels very of that time. I mean, it's a period piece. Scott Pilgrim is set in the aughts, like 2005, 6, 7 area.
Yeah.
Do you think watching that now it would feel of that time, or it would feel more universal, like it or timeless?
It's hard to say just because I'm so old. Um,
we're so we're just two
Scott
old
Pilgrim
guys
feels
talking
current to
about video
me
games.
because I'm old.
Yeah. Put that on the poster. We want young people to come see this movie. Give us a quote. I'm old. I like it. There you have it.
All right. So any other parting thoughts on Kung Fu Hustle?
Really fun to revisit after all these years. I wish I would make it an annual event. Like it's Kung Fu Hustle Day. Let's put it on and watch some crazy kung fu.
Yeah. Um, so actually, do we know what our next movie we're watching is or recapping?
Let me check. Hold on once. Beep boop boop boop. Kung Fu Hustle, and then Robots. This is the DreamWorks movie, right, from 2005, starring Ewan McGregor, Halle Berry, Robin Williams, and Mel Brooks.
Wow.
Um, that's a fun movie. I liked it then. Gave it a 6 out of 10. That's not a great rating. I have come to like it more apparently. um, Real big Wizard of Oz vibes, and Robin Williams being silly the way he can be, but in cartoon form, which is easier for people that don't enjoy Robin Williams to take. I love Robin Williams in all forms, so uh, yeah, I can't wait to talk about that one too. It's not as good as Kung Fu Hustle, but what is really?
Yeah. Um, so if you're following from our last episode, uh, the over under was 5, I think, of the movies that I've watched, and we're at 2 now. Is that correct?
We're at 2.
Sin
I
City
don't
and
think
then
we're
Kung
gonna
Fu
get
Hustle.
there. Yeah. Did you see Robots? Or is that a spoiler for next week?
I mean, we'll save it for the next episode.
Right, because you
Um,
could watch it between now and then, by accident, even.
I mean, sure, it could be on TV. I might actually be
Anything's possible.
accidentally.
I may accidentally be stuck and have to view something for an hour and a half that I would not normally view.
All right, everyone. So tell us what you thought about Kung Fu Hustle if you've seen it in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe. And please join us next week for Robots.